Hello friends and welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. We've got something exciting here for you today. We are going to be taking a look at the new Avengers Tower that just came out the end of last year. One of the first 2024 reviews. We're going to take a detailed look, do a speed build, and give you my overall thoughts.
Set number 76269, containing 5,201 pieces. This set was released on Black Friday in 2023.
After much anticipation and came out as one of the biggest Marvel sets ever and one of the biggest overall sets ever. In a few different regards, of course, you'll see shortly. The main thing is this thing is huge. Number of pieces, number of minifigures, everything. You can see along the top here comes with, they say, about 31 minifigures. Some of them include like a micro figure and the Hulk figure and the dummy and things like that. But overall, a number of great minifigures. Some of them don't have as much detailing as we would like, but otherwise it's a good looking selection. You can see on the back of the box here some of the other fun details involved, but this is going to be a great looking set. This set cost $500 US. I was able to get this set a little cheaper. I was able to get it by redeeming my insider points with LEGO that I've been saving up for a long time. So I was able to pick this up for $150. So totally a steal. But again, it was a lot of LEGO purchases to get to that point. So it's not for everybody. We are excited to build this and place it in the LEGO city. But let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a beast. It's going to take us a few days. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a look.
Alright, here we go. This did take me a number of days to put together, but the main thing is I did start with my own Mills plate, but the Avengers Tower actually does include its own style of Mills plate, so it's double secure going forward. You then start with the lobby with some nice tiling, and then all the windows start flowing. I didn't really mind the windows. I thought they broke it up pretty well doing all this. You do kind of do it in floors, so you get the first one finished up with a lot of the light blue windows and such for the corners, and then you start on the other one and it starts stacking up. I like that they do minifigures throughout. A long time ago they used to do them all up front, but now they kind of scatter them throughout the set, so that's always fun. As I'm putting this together, there are a number of curves on this which you don't expect on a skyscraper compared to something like the Daily Bugle, which is just a big rectangle, so having those other interesting curves and details I thought was a lot of fun. We make the holding cell, and we actually use a lot of these arch pieces or curved pieces, a lot more than I thought, in order to kind of make the foundation strong and support the building itself. And this thing is pretty solid. So we then start on the helicarrier pad where the Quinjet goes. It was actually quite a big section, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was my favorite part of the build, putting this particular floor together. It felt like this was half of the build, just the section right here. These are the two pieces and the tiling that was done on top and below kind of the helicarrier spot. I try and back it up so you can see kind of the overall shot, but it's hard to get this whole thing in there while we're building. We then continue with the upper part, kind of the pointy part of the tower, I guess you'll see, that does have some rooms in it, but it's not really something you can really access very easily. I like that it was included and it has details, but I think it could have been done maybe a little better. Putting those side panels on kind of with those gray curves was interesting as well. And then the last thing you do is you build this big panel that can be removed when you do it, but it's a little repetitious, but it actually works really well and it's quite sturdy, but it took a lot more pieces than I thought it would kind of putting that together. And then the last thing you do is you finish up some of the Chitauri and then a lot of the other fun details and poses that you can put all your minifigures in. But let's take a look. Okay, and here it is, the Avengers Tower, finally complete. After many hours, I was able to get this finished up. As we take a closer look, we're going to go through some of the details of it, but I just want to try and show the scale of this thing. This is obviously the biggest thing I've ever built with LEGO, and by pieces and by sheer size as well. Comes with 31 minifigures, which we'll take a look at throughout the set. I'm sure you've seen other videos of that, so we're not going to go in full detail there. But I just want to show you and give you some of my opinions of what we think the Avengers Tower looks like now that we're in 2024. Okay, now we've rotated it back around. You can see, obviously, you can display it this way. I believe the other one is, of course, the front with the entrance. But a few small details on the back here. You've got Wong coming out here with his little hot dog from the portal. I'm hoping to maybe take a copy of Wong that I have for another set and have him going through the portal at the Sanctum to come out here. I think would be a fun story. Got the Wasp and Nick Fury. And a little back door for the Avengers Tower. Tons of minifigures, tons of windows, of course, which I didn't think was actually that bad to put together because you do it in chunks, so you're not doing it all the time. But anytime, building tip, anytime you're actually working on this, if you see windows, just go ahead and build them at the start, so that way when you actually get to the windows, it's not too bad. But we'll rotate kind of this way to kind of get a different angle. We don't see a whole lot, I think, from most folks. Of course, there are all these Technic pinholes here. Those are used for like the action poses. As you can see, we've got Loki kind of hooked in right there. You can turn those. Some folks don't like those and would rather just have them hidden away. Those are like the 1x1 bricks. So if you don't want those exposed, you can turn those bricks during the construction in order to hide them. Some of the other details you can kind of see going up the windows. You have like the Rolling Stones Stark magazine hanging there. More windows, and I love how they do all these interesting angles with these kind of curved pieces here using kind of the angle plates. And you can kind of go all the way up here and see Loki's scepter and a few other things throughout, and Eric Selvig, the king of the Avengers Tower, apparently. And here is this side of the Avengers Tower. We've got a little battle going on here with Vision and Wanda versus Ultron, and the Quinjet parked nicely behind them. I've put Falcon up here just battling one of these Chitauri, which can then be removed like this in order to see some of the details inside. I feel like this is kind of a hidden gem of the set that I currently don't have any minifigures sitting there right now. I do have a lot of superhero minifigures sitting over on the Lego City table there, so I believe they're going to move in and occupy a lot of these other spaces, so I didn't want to fill them all the way up. But it is fun that the Quinjet can basically park all the way in there, so you still have a little room out here for some storytelling and such. This can hinge up just like that, and you can see a little workstation in there and a scepter, bunch of sticker elements, and then this piece can just pop out just like that, and you can see the fun Loki smash detailing. And right back here, if I'm able to zoom in, you can see that is a comic book of the first Avengers comic, issue number 1, when they first came together there. I do own a number of comics, so I think it'd be fun to show where some of these compare as some of the Lego minifigures and such. I think would be a fun little series to do. Let me know if you think that'd be fun in the comments. So we'll go ahead and just kind of put that back together. Should just pop in kind of like that. It's using like those bendy pieces, so it feels a little illegal, but I guess it works out. And of course, the big thing that happens on this tower here is this whole side panel here can be removed. We've got Tony Stark kind of doing a dive from the first Avengers movie. I think that's a really cool story to definitely keep on the Avengers Tower here. We've got Thor throwing his hammer with kind of that fun blue lightning element toward this like Chitauri whale. I forget exactly what it's called, but actually a fun little build. It's like the first thing you do. I feel like it's a little bit waste of pieces, but it was fun to include in the set nonetheless. But let's go ahead and remove that. You can just set that off to the side as its own individual piece. And then we can take a look at some of the details. We'll start at the first floor. These are slopes right here, kind of the big ones that come with like train packs in order to kind of keep this separate piece in place. But inside here, it's hard to get a camera in, but I'll do my best. We've got some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and the Tesseract and a little Vita Rush machine and a little reception desk. We've got Tony Stark walking out the door with his briefcase that was seen kind of in Avengers Endgame. Out front of the tower here, we've got the memorial plaque for the Battle of New York. I like that it actually is readable for most of it, naming like the original Avengers, as opposed to some things where they just kind of put a block like right above it for any other details. We've got another Iron Man kind of flying out the front here. And then there's that open door with the third Tony Stark that comes in this set. And then we've just got Rhodey chilling out here. And then we've got Hulk out front smashing the windows of the Avengers Tower. I think is another fun story as well that just makes sense to keep. You can fix those windows if you were to decide to, but for right now I think it looks nice how. Okay, and this is another fun story that you definitely have to keep in here, where Steve Rogers is battling himself in Endgame there. In the instruction manual it says,
I gotta agree, that is America's tube side. Wink, wink, regarding the tubes of his butt there. So that's fun to see. Definitely another fun story. Back there, another exclusive minifigure. Got Helen Chang, I believe. And behind that, you can kind of see Ultron and Jarvis kind of in their ball form during Age of Ultron. The shield placement I thought was kind of random. I know they fight kind of on this glass bridge, and that's how they end up down here. But if I'm able to show you, let me see if I can. It looks good because you could see it right through that window there in order to kind of see the shield. So I thought that was a good placement. Next, you've got the Mark 6, I believe, of the battle-damaged Iron Man, if I can get that to focus for you. There he is. The battle-damaged Iron Man coming in. We've got Pepper over here with a little tablet and such. And, of course, Dummy, which is technically included in the minifigures, but not really. And then just some more fun sticker details in the back about Loki, the Mark 7 armor, Roxxon, and a few other things hidden in there, like the fire extinguisher. Up here, again, is the one thing most folks don't like about this set. It is the little cage that's included on the helicarrier that they keep Loki/Hulk in. But this one doesn't really go in the Avengers Tower, but I don't mind it too much. I put Alexander Pierce in there for now, that minifigure, as I don't have another good spot for him without putting him just on the first floor. Technically, it's only 5 floors, even though it's obviously deceiving with all the windows, of course. Technically, maybe a half floor if you include the bridge that's in there, but I think it's fun as well. But there's just so many great details, so many stories you can tell, like Hawkeye flying off the side doing his kind of falling arrow trick, and all kinds of fun going on here. I really can't wait to make this my own and just kind of customize it over the time in the Lego City and add even more superheroes from DC and all kinds of folks to really make this a whole big complex for folks to live in. And of course, the other fun Easter egg is Kevin Feige out front here with his coffee and shawarma. Kind of weird that he was included. According to the designers, it was kind of a joke for a little bit, but they then actually got his permission to use his likeness, so that is officially Kevin Feige just hanging out at the Avengers Tower. Of course, everyone wanted Stan Lee. I think this was the time to do it because they did not put him in the Daily Bugle set, but I believe there's some sort of issue going on there, which I don't know why, as they've used his likeness before in LEGO games and other things like that. But who knows, maybe one day we'll get him. So I believe that's most of the details. Again, there's all kinds of other small little Easter eggs. Sometimes that's just something you need to discover for yourself when building these sets. It's an amazing set,
But you'll have to be the judge of that. But let's go ahead and finish this thing up and get to our final thoughts.
So what are our final thoughts here? Obviously, you can see it doesn't even fit in the frame. So, I mean, this is a huge set. You've got to have a lot of space. What I like to say is this something you got to buy new furniture for in order to put it somewhere in your house? Are you going to buy this if you don't have Lego City? I don't know. Just because it is so huge. I like it. I mean, it's really ambitious. I think this is a lot of great parts and a lot of great angles and usage and curves, slopes, all that kind of stuff. But is it something for everybody? I don't think so. Unless you're a big Marvel fan or maybe like a big Lego fan, that is a category I do fall into. So I think this was worth putting my time and money into getting. But it's not for everybody. I think that could be an unpopular opinion because Lego tries to sell folks, everything these days, and they're really leaning into like the 18 plus style sets, which is what this falls into. But it's really expensive. I mean, I feel like you could have reduced the price and still gotten something similar by reducing some of the minifigures, maybe like the side build with Thor and the whale, which apparently is not on the desk right now. All right, and we've got that fixed up now. A lot of the minifigures, I would have wanted less minifigures, which I know is a bold claim, but I would have wanted less minifigures if it meant more detail for the tower or more detail on the minifigures themselves. I know we're spoiled sometimes these days with like how the CMFs come out and all the great detail and the printing on it. And when you get to something like this, I mean, it's a little disappointing. I do like that it comes with a lot of different figures overall as compared to like the Star Wars Venator where you get 2 figures and that thing's like, what, $600? So having 30 some minifigures isn't too bad when you compare it in that way. I love a lot of the stories that they have going on. I do wish they could have done a little bit more with the interior. I know they're limited with their scale and some other things going on, but having Loki's holding cell doesn't really make sense. Or done something to improve the area where like the bar scene is that has a few notable scenes from the movie, because right now that's not something you're able to really access very well. So overall, like I said, would I recommend this set? Yes, if you are the Marvel fan, the big LEGO fan, if you want to put this in your LEGO city, then yes. If you're the casual fan, you might want to stay clear of this one because of a lot of the factors with price and size that it's got going on. But I think it's still a fun set. I really enjoy building it. For me, this is one of the newer sets that I've built. It is also definitely the biggest set I've ever built with LEGO by piece and size. So seeing this thing come together was amazing. It was all kinds of interesting building techniques, and that's why I did put it on my top 10 list last year. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you do that as well. Is the Avengers Tower for everyone? No, but that's okay. But I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to look great in our LEGO city, and I can't wait to add even more details and stories with other superhero minifigures that I have in my city to really make a huge superhero complex, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The next video, we are going to be placing this in our LEGO city with a few other updates, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. But I think that's going to do it for today, so I appreciate you coming by Old Mountain Bricks today. Make sure if you did enjoy the video, it does help the channel out if you like and comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. And until next time, have a good one.